So that's why I like going to comedy clubs when you should be allowed to say what you want to say. But I found even now certain comedy clubs, not the clubs themselves, but the audiences will be like, oh, no, don't go there.
Welcome to another episode of the Owwll podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Danielle Santilli. Danielle, why don't you kick things off by introducing our guest today?
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. So Flip Schultz, I saw him at a comedy show. It was, I don't remember the name of it, but it was a comedy show at the West Palm Improv, which is now closed, but it was stand up for suicide, I think. Suicide prevention. Yeah. And I just thought he was hilarious, and I had to ask him to come on, and I'm so glad he agreed.
You thought right. I am incredibly hilarious.
Woohoo!
And modest.
So, that's pretty much how this happened. So, Flip, I want you to tell everybody just about your background. Maybe, I guess you're from here, right? You're from Florida?
Yeah.
Florida?
I am originally born and raised in Florida. I started my comedy career over 30 years ago down here in Florida. And I was going to school down the street at FAU, actually get my degree in theater. And then after I graduated, I started doing comedy full time pretty much. And then worked the Southeast a lot, was one of the youngest headliners working the comedy circuit back then. And then I moved to LA in 2001 when I was about 26. Lived out there for 20 years. Did a lot of television, stand up on television. I did acting, starred in a movie, and then recently moved back to Florida during COVID and have been continuing to make a great living doing comedy. I primarily work on cruise ships right now doing comedy.
I was going to ask, obviously everything has shifted so much from back in the early 2000s to now.
From the 90s.
Yeah, the 90s. Yeah, I mean, hey, I remember even CDs, right? And that whole industry, for my music industry, I was talking to my friend today and we're like, I wish we were in the Vanessa Carlton era, Michelle Branch, we would have killed it in that singer-songwriter, selling CDs era. And we're just failing right now with the streaming. And so I just want to hear kind of how did you make it? That's pretty impressive that you just got out of school and full-time comedy. Was it easier back then, without the social media? How does it compare to now?
Yeah, well, I think social media leveled the playing field. It kind of, as they say, took the power away from the gatekeepers because you don't need a development deal to blow up anymore as far as comedy. You could just get some videos that go viral or have a podcast or, have a TikTok that just blows up or whatever. So it might be a little easier now, but I think it also is a little, what's the word? Just sometimes there are too many cooks in the kitchen, and it's hard to stand out now. Whereas when I started, that's back in the day when you couldn't just send somebody a YouTube link hey, here's what I do. You actually I mailed VHS tapes to comedy clubs to try to get work. And back then it was more of a grassroots feeling as far as becoming successful and getting more work. And maybe, I don't know if I'm just old fashioned or whatever, but I think there was more fun back then because it really felt like you against the world. And it really, if you met another comic on the road that you clicked with, there was a camaraderie to it where, you guys almost felt like you were in war together. Whereas nowadays, and then, hey, look at this. And there seems to be a less
connection in a way.
Not so much a connection. There's just less of a visceral sense of success. Now, or excuse me, then versus now. But I think my luck happened in that I started very young and I was very tenacious and just knew this is what I was going to do. Never saw any, thinking back on it now, am I allowed to curse?
Yes, you are. Go for
Yeah.
it.
The fucking balls that I had as a young kid.
You're a comedian. You can do anything you want.
Okay, great.
It's the Owwll podcast. Anything goes.
Yeah, I was just like, I look back now and like, I didn't know any better, but I was fresh out of college and just like, I'm going to be a comedian. And I didn't see any way that wasn't going to happen. You know,
Did your parents, were they supportive? Like,
100%.
oh, nice. That makes a big difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge. I mean, I look back now again and I realize I'm blessed. Because the first time I knew I was going to be a comedian since I was a kid. First time I did comedy, I was 8 years old.
Wow.
And my parents, even back then, said, you could do whatever you want, just go to college.
Mm-hmm.
They were teachers, so they just wanted me to have a degree. So I went down the street to Florida Atlantic University. I got my degree in theater while still doing open mic nights and starting to build my career. And then just like I said, I just started hitting clubs. I started meeting, and this is again before apps like Owwll, which are great for networking now. Back in the day, it was like, you meet a comic on the road. Hey, who do you know? You give me your information. I'll give you my information as far as bookers go. And that's kind of how
everyone wondering that he had to take out a pen and write it. There was no iPhones.
There was no iPhones. There was no.
If you lose it, you're like, oh no.
Oh, shit.
We've all been there before. We're like, where did the number go? It was in my back pocket. It's
exactly.
gone.
Like
you watched it. You ever have it like? You're like, that was
my
Bill Burr. It was in there. I had his phone number. I had his cell phone.
I actually have Bill Burr's number in my phone.
Let's call him on the Owwll podcast.
Hey, it's fucking Bill Burr.
I bought tickets. I think I'm going. He's coming to the Hard Rock.
Oh yeah,
in a couple months.
I worked with Bill back in I think it was 1998 at the old Miami Improv, and I remember this is he was just another comic. Nobody knew who he was, but we were talking in the green room, and he's like, "Yeah, it's just I'm gonna do an HBO half-hour special. I'm very excited, because that's what fucking Carlin did. Now I'm gonna do one." And it was just it's always been a very sweet.
He's benefited a lot through social media.
Yeah,
because his short clips have done phenomenal on apps like TikTok, of course, and that's where I don't think I knew about him, and then I started seeing clips of him on TikTok, and now here I am. I'm going to a show in a couple months.
Well, he was because like Dane Cook was the first one to really monopolize online content with MySpace back in the day. He was he was the first comic to really kind of blow up virally. But Bill blew up really because he had a clip of when he was working at was doing comedy festival in I think it was Philly. Big radio guys up there were doing this live festival, and their audience is very rambunctious to say the least. And so every comic going up was just getting, not every, but most of them were getting roasted, booed and heckle, like Dom Herrera, Bob Saget. And Bill went out there and they were immediately just giving him shit. And so Bill just turned on him like, fuck you, fuck you. And the audience suddenly got behind him because they were rooting for him to really rip him apart. And somebody taped it, and that clip blew up on YouTube. And that's what really propelled Bill into more of the national spotlight, which again shows the positive nature of, because it shows that a comic like Bill, who'd been working really hard, finally got his break through social media and through the online, content world.
What was your big aha moment in your career? Can you look back at a moment where you're kind of chugging along, and then something blossomed, or a certain relationship that put you to the next level? It might have been your move out to LA, for example. I feel like most people in your world kind of, move along.
When you're like, I've made it. Like, what was that moment? Or I'm working with this comedian. I'm gonna,
I mean, in that context, I've had a few. Like, I got to work with George Carlin. You probably don't
know who that is.
You know who that is.
I do. I'm trying to match a face. I feel bad right now. I'm like trying to put two and two together.
George, it's 7 dirty words you can't say on TV. I mean, if you look at lists of the greatest comedians of all time, he's always in the top 3, usually number 1. And when I moved out to LA, his manager scooped me up and signed me. Nice. And I got to open for George, I think 3 times in Florida. I got to come back to Florida a few months after I left, opening for one of the greatest comedians of all time.
That must have been like, I don't know. It sounds like you had supporters.
I've always had, like, I've never had somebody go, "You're never going to make it."
That's amazing.
My family, my friends, nobody ever said you're not going to do it. They just,
that's amazing. Great.
If I see friends from high school, like 30 years later now, and I say, "Yeah, I'm a full-time comic," they go, "Of course you are. That's all you."
Aw, that's so nice.
Yeah. But I think opening for Carlin was an aha moment. When I got passed at the Hollywood Improv, and I did the HBO Comedy Festival in 2002. Like, I had a lot of great moments in my career that I got them very young too. That gave me like, all right, I'm doing it. But and this is going to sound, I don't know, trite or maudlin, but at the end of the day, I make a really good living right now doing comedy, which not a lot of guys can say. Some guys,
especially for the longevity that you've had,
Yeah.
30 years, like
Yeah.
over 30 years, that's in any entertainment industry. Like it's like you're hot for a little bit and then nah.
Yeah.
So the fact that it sounds like, you said you're tenacious and you have hustled and you don't, you just keep going.
Do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do. Yeah.
You have to, especially
Absolutely.
because you said you're your own manager, like you have a booking agent, but
I'm still my own promoter. I still
Yeah.
do my own social media. But yeah, like again, and I got very lucky that I got into cruise ships, which at first I'm like, oh, that's where comics go to die. That's like low go.
I know.
But it's a lot of my contemporaries are on there, and it's a very coveted gig right now. And I'm, lucky that I know how to do it really well. I can do adult shows, I can do clean shows. Sometimes you have fucking 6-year-olds in the front row, and you got to keep their attention too. So because of that, my calendar is full. My bank account is really good right now. And I know a lot of guys that I've started with who are either still struggling, or they had to get a side hustle, or they just got out of it.
Just tell them to get on Owwll and make some call, get their old fans to give them some calls and, side hustle. You can just be during the day on the cruise ships when you're laying by the pool, go live.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey fans. What's up, fans? Make an extra. It's easy extra money. I am curious though. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm trying to think what it's called. It's the one with like Dak Shepard. You know him? Kristen Bell's husband. And it's like really popular. And a lot of like big comedians. What's the comedy place in LA where like Amy Poehler and like Tina Fey, Upright Citizens Brigade. Like I know that's a big. I don't know if you were ever in those courses.
That's sketch. That's like sketch.
That's sketch comedy.
I mean, I love. I've done. I produced 3 of my own sketch shows out in LA. And again, I got my theater degree from FAU, but I never pursued that. It's kind of this like catch-22 because my main way to make money was stand-up. And especially when I first moved out to LA, I couldn't afford to stop doing stand-up to take classes because
and it is also really expensive to even just to register for those. But they were talking about just a lot of the censoring now and just the way that the political climate is and how there used to be a lot more comedy movies just in general. And now it's all superhero movies and you can't say so many things because it's not PC. And like, I'm just curious what your take is on all of that and how you've dealt with that.
I mean, well, I think it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Comedy is the last bastion of free speech. That we have, especially stand up. And I think people are just so fucking uptight now.
Is that why you moved back to Florida? The land of the free? That's what I call it.
Looking back, like looking at LA, it's funny, Florida, not all of Florida, but majority of Florida is way over here on the right. And the majority of California is way over there on the left.
Yeah.
And either one is hard to live in.
I do find this area is more centric, though.
Yeah.
That's why I like it here, because people just don't really care. They're like apolitical.
Exactly. I always say I'm a centrist.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, just the whole climate right now. And as a stand-up, and again, I work ships, so I always tell comics, if you ever work ships, this is a lesson to anybody who wants to be working on a ship as a comic. When you're on a ship, you're not an artist, you're an entertainer. Remember that. They don't want to hear your political views. They don't want to hear anything graphic. They don't want to hear depressing stories about divorce or this or that.
They're on vacation.
And you're part of their entertainment package, which is why you're getting paid more than you would on land. So on one hand, and again, I'm able to do that, it's good. But on the other hand, creatively, it is a
little stifling.
It's like this, trying to perform with one hand tied behind your back. So that's why I like going to comedy clubs when you should be allowed to say what you want to say. But I found even now certain comedy clubs not the clubs themselves, but the audiences will be like, "Oh no, don't go there," or "Don't talk about."
Really?
Yeah, and it's just like, what the. Take the stick out of your ass.
Yeah.
It's a joke. I
Yeah.
post on social media every day, usually clips of me doing crowd work because I'm really good at it.
Do you have a videographer? You just like put the phone on a stand and
Yeah, I pretty much do what you did. I have
Yeah.
my phone on a tripod. I tape my shows, and then
Yeah.
I edit it myself. I add the
nice.
subtitles myself.
Yeah.
And I'll get a lot of comments like, "Oh, that's funny," and "You're so quick," yada yada. And then, like, I posted one the other day where I was talking to a kid who's a 12-year-old in the front row, and I'm just kind of busting his balls, but he's laughing along with it. But somebody commented like, "The fact that you're making fun of a 12-year-old shows you."
Oh my
And
God.
I'm like, I wanted to say, it's a fucking joke, and the kid. But if you have to defend yourself against everyone who's giving you shit, you're going to be doing this forever.
All day. Yeah.
So I learned a long time ago, comedy's subjective, and not everyone's going to like what I do.
Mhm.
And I don't feel I need to defend myself all the time because I'm working, and my resume and my schedule speaks for itself.
I just want to be like, why don't you try what I do? Like,
I've said
that's
that
what I
before.
do too, to be like
Yeah.
people, like, whatever, just you suck. Like that. I know I don't suck. Like they're just making,
Jealous.
they're
or-
whatever. And I'm like, okay, let me hear you sing. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
flip it
You
around.
get up in front of a group and make them
Yeah.
them
I
laugh.
think comedy is the hardest entertainment, form of entertainment. Cause like with what I do, it's like people can just like fake clap, even if they don't like it. But for you, it's like, you can't really fake laugh,
You
It's
Laughter is really one of the only human responses that is truly visceral.
Mhm.
Is that you can't fake a real laugh. You can fake, but a
Yeah.
true laugh.
You knew when I was like, "Ha!" earlier. You're
Yeah.
like, "You're faking laughing."
fake.
I'm like, "Yeah, I know." It was just like,
Look, I've heard women fake it around me before.
but it was like I was like fake laughing to show you, like, yeah, that's a cheesy fake laugh. Like it was on purpose. Like,
Yeah, no, I get it.
ha, like not really funny, but you're a comedian. So.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
But any kind of but
Yeah.
So again, when people give me shit or say this or that, it's like you've got to separate the ego from the logic.
We might have to book a future trip, me and Danielle.
And Stephanie.
Yes, definitely.
Stephanie, you coming? Where are we going? Where are we going on a corporate trip?
Yeah.
I'm right now. I'm booked through early 2024. I'm mainly Norwegian cruise lines.
Ooh, I love that.
Matter of fact, next month I'm going to be on the Norwegian Encore in Alaska for a week.
Wow.
And then all of September, I'm going to be in the Mediterranean. I'll be on a ship for a month there. So come on out.
Ooh.
And see, again, to me, that's success. I'm getting paid
to travel
and experience these amazing places on a beautiful cruise ship, doing exactly what I love.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people, keep working. You're going to make it.
No, screw that. You already have made it. When you're the artist and you get to do your craft full time, I feel like that's
exactly
making it.
I make a really good living.
Yeah.
Like I said, doing exactly what I do. I think success is just, like you said, if somebody's just trying to get famous for fame's sake, I don't prejudge, but it seems very shallow and vacuous.
Mm-hmm.
If you do what you love in the entertainment world and fame becomes a byproduct of that, that's good reward. And I'm always striving for more. I'm always striving to get to another level of success and financial stability. But at the end of the day, if the rest of my career is just touring the world, doing ships and doing clubs and working with great people, and again making a comfortable living, absolutely.
How have relationships made an important part of your process to get these gigs? Right, lots of times people are posting on social media, opportunities come, but it's also just good old handshakes.
Oh yeah, I actually so back in 96 and 97, I did musical theater in Texas.
Me too.
Did you really?
I mean, not like professionally, but I was like, I used to be a theater kid.
No,
there's a bond. Anyone that was a theater kid gets it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was my only professional time doing theater.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a guy that I worked with who has since become a cruise director for, I think, Regent or like a high-end cruise line. And we've been in touch, and he's trying to get me on to his line now.
Nice.
And again, that goes back to just relationships you make over the years. Sometimes old friends come back. Sometimes you meet, like just how we met. Relationships definitely affect booking and affect future work. And again, apps like Owwll are ways to connect to either your audience or to other people in the field to, again, cultivate these amazing relationships. And that's what, until you're at a certain level to where people are pursuing you, this is how you maintain employment, how you maintain relevant.
Relevancy.
I'm trying to use a lot of big words.
I noticed that. I was like, I am impressed with your vocabulary.
Well, thank you.
I want to know like the craziest story that you have from the road, or just like crazy, just like the crazy stories, the things that people get a kick out of, or something that an audience member did that was wild, like anything that comes to mind.
One of the craziest stories, like,
it's hard to put you on the spot, but just like
I just have so many. I don't know.
Here's always a rowdy drunk one in the crowd.
Okay, here. So, and this is actually a clip on my social media, but I was working on a ship, and it was in the comedy club on the ship. So there was it was packed. So I'd say about 150 or maybe 200 people in the room. And in the middle of my act, this drunk woman who had been drinking at the bar. This is I think it was during the Super Bowl last year. And when they were showing it on the ship, she came into the show in the middle of the act, in the middle of the show, belligerently drunk. And I remember I was on stage and I just see her walking up toward the stage, like, yeah. And I'm like, I literally have the microphone like this. And she comes on stage and just like, hey, everybody, who wants the Pittsburgh to win? And I'm and I'm looking around like, because there's staff in the room. And I'm like,
are you not going to
call fucking security?
Yeah.
And nobody was doing anything. So for like 3 minutes, which is an eternity, I'm trying to keep the show from going off the rails and getting this drunk fucking woman off the stage. And the audience is like, oh, get her off. And she's just, bleh. And so at one point, there was like a little step to get off the stage. And I said, do me a favor, take that step right there. And she goes, I don't need a step. I said, I think you need 12 steps, to be honest with you. But right now, just take the one. And the crowd erupts. And that would have been the perfect time for her to leave. But nope, she still wouldn't leave. And there was a singer who was one of the guest entertainers. And we were friends. And she even got up to try to get this woman off stage. And I had a water bottle on stage. And this woman threw it, almost hit a guy in the audience. Finally, we get her off the stage. And that's right when fucking security shows up. And then I still had to do another 10, 15 minutes. It was just one of those things that happen. But that was pretty crazy. I'll tell you a cool story. Okay, you know Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
Okay. So do you remember years ago when Comedy Central gave him like $50 million to do another season of Chappelle's show, and he eventually gave it back?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
He talks a lot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is right when that happened. He'd given $50 million back, and he flew to Africa, and nobody knows like where he is. All he knows he's in Africa, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Dave Chappelle! He's out of his mind. He's gone crazy." Blah blah blah. So I'm at the Hollywood Improv. I think this was a Wednesday night, and it was packed. It was a hot show, and one of the comics couldn't show up. So the manager comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Flip, do you want to do a spot?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he goes, "Okay, we just brought up so-and-so. There's one more comic, and then you." I'm like, "Cool." So the way the improv worked was there's a bar, a hallway, and then the showroom. So I'm in the hallway just talking to the other comics. And the comic, they just brought the one comic up, maybe a minute. And I'm in the hallway, and all of a sudden the manager comes running down, just screaming to the host, "Get him off the stage now, get him off the stage." And the host is like, "I just brought him up." He goes, "I don't care, get him off now." And we're all sitting there going, "What the hell's going on?" I turn, Dave Chappelle's walking in. And again, everybody still thinks he's in Africa.
Yeah.
Nobody, he literally landed at LAX and came right to the Improv because he wanted to talk about what was going on. So I'm like, and the manager goes, "Yeah, Flip, you're not going up tonight." I'm like,
damn it.
I get it. No, I'm like, I get it. I just want to see this.
Yeah.
So the host goes up, and in the middle, again, this comic just got on stage. He's maybe on a minute or two. And the host just comes on stage and goes, "Hey man, you got to get off." And the comic's like, "What's going on?" He goes, I'm so sorry. You got to get off the stage now." And the comic's confused and pissed, and rightfully so. And the rest of the audience is like, "What's going on?" And the host says, "Ladies and gentlemen, so sorry to interrupt this comic, but somebody just showed up and we want to get him on stage right away. Please welcome Dave Chappelle."
Whoa.
And look, I've been at the Improv when Seinfeld dropped in or Chris Rock, like huge. And I've seen the place go nuts. I have never heard an audience erupt like this. They were on their feet, cheering. The floor was shaking. It
Wow.
was incredible.
Wow.
And Chappelle went up there and just like, yeah, man, I just went to Africa for a little bit and I'm come back. Everybody said Dave Chappelle lost his fucking mind. But he only did like 10 minutes and then got off the stage. So the manager goes, okay, Flip, you're still going to go up. I'm like, okay. Luckily for me, but sadly for this other comic had to go up right after Chappelle, and nobody could give a shit.
No.
Nobody could follow that because everybody's like, "Whoa, did you see what happened?" So this poor guy took the bullet, but then I went up and had one of the best shows of my life.
Was he there? Did he?
No. Although I did, and now here's I did work with Chappelle years before that at a comedy club that used to be in Davie called Uncle Funny's. It was where I actually started, and Chappelle came in. This is right when Half Baked was happening. So Chappelle's show hadn't come out yet. So he was known, but he wasn't Dave Chappelle yet. But yeah, I got to work with him there.
Were there, I guess there weren't the iPhones back then?
No, this is before.
Yeah.
Before
like selfie to prove it, right?
No, I did take a picture with him. Sadly, that picture is lost when I unfortunately accidentally deleted it off my hard drive. But I did get a picture with him later on in LA. And I reminded him about that. He goes, "Oh yeah, man, I remember that." So we got a picture.
Do you really?
Our class knows. What were you deleting? What were you deleting off that?
It was like I was cleaning. I do my own website too, and unfortunately,
space. You're creating space.
No, because I had the picture it was called Me Dave, and then I had another picture that I uploaded called Me Dave with my friend Dave. And this is before I knew how to separate. So I just accidentally put the wrong, and I didn't have a copy for whatever reason. But yeah, so those are some crazy, fun stories that happened.
I think it's time.
Oh yeah, let's call some people.
Call somebody on Owwll.
Let's give her a ring. What do you think, Flip?
Let's try it.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, Maria.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. You are actually live on the Owwll podcast right now.
Nice.
Yeah. And so we have our guest today is Flip Schultz, and he's a famous comedian. He's worked with Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, other people.
George Carlin, Weird Al, Robin Williams.
And I know you're in entertainment as well, right? I think. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. And I'm actually doing a comedy documentary for a comedian named Stephen Kimbrough. I don't know if you know him.
Oh, he's on the Owwll app, Stephen Kimbrough.
Where's he out of?
Yeah.
LA.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I don't know if our paths have crossed, but kudos. Very cool.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah. While we have you, do you have any questions for Flip?
Let's see. I mean, I would love to know more about your background a little bit. I mean, I know your background as a comedian, but like, how you came about, what you've like done. What was your favorite, most exciting experience?
Probably at this point, you're doing a comedy. Do you know who George Carlin is?
Of course, yeah.
I love
him.
I got to
throwing the dagger to me and Danielle right now.
Yeah. I got to open for Carlin like 3 or 4 times because we had the same manager, and that was pretty amazing. I worked with him at a few theaters down in Florida.
Well, that's incredible. So have you considered doing, because I'm in kind of the background of like doing, film as a director and producer, like have you considered doing like a documentary of your life story too, or having your story be like heard overall?
I've been in the business like about 31 years now, and I've actually thought about writing a book.
So I was going to say, or a book.
Yeah, it kind of, and the idea is a bit of a biography and all about my theories of comedy, because there are a lot of things about stand-up technical aspects that I don't think a lot of people might realize, because comedy there is a science to it.
I like that. It's educational. It's not just like, this is me.
Exactly.
You're actually giving something back.
Kind of
people.
weaving the two, a biography and a handbook, if you will. So I thought about that, and I actually did years ago make a little documentary about tour of Europe that I did with Pablo Francisco, if you know who he is.
Yeah, no, I know him too. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Thank you. And then, so what is this documentary that you're doing?
Well, essentially, it's the life story of Stephen E. Kimbrough and like everything that he's been through, because he was in, Last Comic Standing. He was on the Queen Mary, and
Oh, wait.
like he has a really
Was he on Last Comic Standing on the Queen Mary?
yeah.
That was season 6?
Yep.
I was on that season.
Wow.
He's on Owwll too. He's a brand
You're
ambassador with
kidding.
us.
No, I was in the top 40 of that season. That's the one with Josh Blue and Chris Porter, Gabriel Iglesias. Am I remembering?
Yeah. No way. Well, I mean, now we really, really got to talk.
Yeah, that's very
Maybe you can be in the documentary, or I don't know. Maybe you can
You are
write your
officially in the
book.
documentary. Look at that.
You can write a book,
happened right
and
now.
she can make a documentary for your book. Like you can turn it into a movie, or I don't know,
Look at that.
YouTube. Let's make it happen, guys.
And we can have you like within this documentary too, if you're interested.
Like interviewed.
To have like an interview and just talk about
Yeah, no, down. I always love being involved in anything that has to do with comedy, especially stand-up, because it is such a fun art form. And
See the power of the Owwll app.
my gosh,
Isn't this wild?
this is a hoot.
it. Yeah.
She liked it.
Like out of the blue too, like you'd never think.
Yeah,
I just
happen.
randomly
Pretty
called you. I was
incredible.
like, she's cool in the entertainment industry. Boom.
yeah, let's definitely connect on the Owwll app.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Flip just became an expert, so he'll be going live, and you can give him a call soon.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, if that's the case, I would love to get on a call. I could call you too. Are you? I guess you guys are doing the podcast right now, so I know you're busy. But like whenever you can, actually give me your full name spelling wise, just so I could search you and follow you, so I could keep track of when you come live.
Perfect. Flip, FLIP, Schultz, SCHULTZ.
And Maria, we put him on our Instagram account at
Sure.
Owwll app. So he's right there. He's the last post.
So you
And
can
then
follow his
he's also listed under,
Insta.
featured experts.
Beautiful.
We will be promoting him like crazy next week on our newsletter and on social media, of course.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Maria. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna head out now, but yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for connecting us. That's incredible.
Yeah,
And it was nice meeting you too.
absolutely.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
You too.
Later, Maria. How cool was
That was very cool.
right?
Yeah.
On the spot.
Yeah.
And you have someone in common.
That's awesome. By the way, talking about crazy, it just hit me another crazy story.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
And this is a story of just hitting a brick wall but not giving up. In 2002, CBS brought back Star Search. Like
I remember that.
Arsenio Hall was hosting it.
Wait, wasn't like Bill Cosby? No, that's America. That was the funniest kids.
Yeah, no,
that's
Bill
different.
Bill Cosby's not hosting
I was like,
anything
wait,
right now.
no.
Bill Cosby,
But he was.
doing
What
nothing.
was America's the kids? The one
Can't
with
say
the kids.
darndest thing.
That was him, right?
Yeah, no, Star Search was a
Stars. I know Star Search was the OG like American Idol.
Exactly.
Yes, sorry, I got them
Ed McMahon.
confused.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
They brought it back. CBS brought it back for I think
Okay.
2 seasons in 2002. And I was picked to be on the show, to be the comedian. I think I was on the 3rd episode. And how it worked was it's live to the East Coast. And so the performer would go out, do their thing. 2 performers would go out, do their thing. And then during the commercial break, the audience at home would call or go online and vote. And then they had 4 judges in studio that would vote as well. They take the average and that becomes the winner. So, pardon me. I go out, right? Live. This is in this big studio at CBS. And the judges were Ben Stein, Ashley Judd, this very funny comic writer named Carol Leifer, and then the guest judge was Lance Bass.
Oh my god.
So
He's not a comedian.
no, but he was, every week. It was almost like American Idol. They had a special judge every week.
Yes, yeah.
So I go out there and I'm standing center stage and they're playing my video package, like Flip Schultz, blah, 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 blah. And then it comes, Arsenio goes, please welcome Flip Schultz. Camera pans to me and I got the microphone and I go, thank you. that was me kind of going testing 1, 2, 3.
Mhm.
My microphone wasn't on
Been there.
a live network show in front of millions of people.
Shit.
So people in the studio couldn't hear me. People at home could.
Ooh.
People in the studio couldn't.
Oh.
So all the people at home see is a very young, nervous comic getting no laughs because nobody could fucking hear me. And I think I only had 80 or 90 seconds, which is near, it's that for comedy. So I think the microphone came on in the last like 20 seconds, whatever. So I just didn't do very well. And the judges in studio gave me kind of shitty scores. Now, if I had the sense now then, like all the knowledge now, I would have stopped and went, can you guys hear me on live TV?
Yeah,
it would have
yeah,
made CBS look like idiots.
Shit, yeah.
And the audience at home would go, is this guy, what's going on? And it would have created a moment, and it would have created like maybe this like, give him another chance, come on. But instead I was just on autopilot, just like, just like in my head, I'm like, what the fuck? But outside, I'm just, like I said, autopilot because I'd done the show so many times. And then, but in my head, I'm like, well, they're going to give me another chance. This wasn't fair. And the producers came up after the show, said, look, we're sorry, but the judges in the studio said they could hear you, and the people at home could hear you. So technically, they're
my God.
And it took me a year to get over that. And I really thought, I'm like, my career's over. This was my only chance. This was my big break, blah, blah. But, again, you move past it, and then you realize, no, more opportunities will come. More opportunities will come. But that was like my first real experience with, am I doing the right thing?
We were on the news with Owwll, where we launched Mentorship Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into CBS, and I was like so excited. I thought it was going to be like, go into this room, go into that room. I'm like, no, they're like, go on the air. Like, they're like, go.
Just
like
go.
4 minutes before. And I'm like, well, we do more for this podcast here than they do on the real news channel.
Yeah.
And you realize, like, they don't have their shit together. And I think the higher you go up, you think, oh, okay, well, it's got to be more together at these levels. No, lots of times it's not. At the end
Sometimes CBS means complete bullshit.
Yeah.
I like that one,
Really
actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Took a minute for it to click. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
NBC, nothing but shit. No, I'm kidding. No, that
You're
nothing
like,
but crap.
hire me.
NBS would be nothing but shit.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Got to make one up for Owwll.
Yeah. Owwll,
OWWLL. Let's see if you got one on the spot.
That's hard.
How about oh wow, we link likables.
Not bad for going with it.
Yeah. Or oh wow, we love linking people.
That's pretty
together.
good.
We're getting there.
We're getting off the spot.
Off the spot. Honestly, I would.
Something.
Our voiceover came up on our commercial. It's like, make sure to download Owwll and make sure it's 2 W's because Owls are Y's and 2 L's because you're going to love it. So that's what we did on the voiceover. Not every digit, of course.
Welcome. Wait a minute. Owwll. Download the app. 2 W's for we're wise. 2 L's for we are
lovable.
For we are lovable.
That's good.
1 O because that's men can only have 1 O. Women can have multiple. Men can have 1.
Is this the male app or what?
This
for men only. I can't go that deep.
Owwll.
For men only.
This summer, Owwll is coming to you with 1 big O.
That's good.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yes, the movie preview.
We need to get you and Josh in here together. He was our voiceover
Trump
or not
impressionist.
Yeah, Trump impression.
It was doing as Donald Trump. Very good at doing Donald Trump. Very good. It's all bullshit. People don't understand.
Wow.
I know.
You even got the lips down.
Very
Josh, there we go.
Shit. Yeah, let's do a LinkedIn Live and get you and him and have people vote.
Do a Trump off.
Yeah.
Deal.
Or Trump and Biden debating. That would be fun.
Season is
All
coming.
right, here we go. Okay, hey, come on, man. My Biden's.
Yeah, Biden. No, you're more. Yeah, Trump.
My Trump is very good. It's very good. A lot of people don't understand. People ask me all the time. They go, Donald Trump, you're a beautiful man. How can you talk so much shit?
You're like Trump with a little rasp.
Well, I think I learned Trump when he was on the campaign trail. So he had a very raspy voice.
Or like when he had COVID and he was just like, hey, everyone.
Hey, everybody, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
But now he's very loud. People love him loud.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
How about Jeff Goldblum? Very good. Very, very good.
Ooh.
This is Jeff Goldblum as a stand-up comedian. I was walking down the street, very good, and me and my friend saw this empty place where there used to be a building, and my friend said, "Oh, look at that, it's a lot." I said, "There's nothing there, it should be called a little."
So do you do voiceover work too?
No, I would love to do voiceover work. I would love to.
Okay.
Not gotten.
Already, we have a voiceover actor on Owwll who gives people advice on how to get voiceover jobs, and he has like a course and connects you. So I'll connect you with him too.
Cool.
I mean, I do have to ask you, what do you think of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? Have you watched it?
I love it.
I love it. I like cried. I watched the whole thing.
me
I was
too.
like,
I thought
it felt really, it hit home.
Yeah.
Like it was.
It was a perfect way to wrap up that show.
Yeah, I loved it.
Because you find out at the heart of it, the whole show is just about their relationship.
I know. It's so good.
Midge and
Susie. Yeah.
No, but it's great. Great.
Did you think it was realistic?
Well, I mean, I'm older
back
than
then.
You, I wasn't around then doing comedy.
Yeah, no, I know,
but I think
just as a comedian, like
yeah. In a sense, like for female comics, even today, it's still a uphill battle.
Yeah.
To be taken seriously and to be considered one
or
of the
taken
guys.
funny, I guess.
Or taken fun. Like my ex-wife is actually a comedian.
Oh wow!
And I've seen, that it could be harder for women, like you said, to be taken seriously, be taken funny. To me, funny is funny. I don't care who, black, white, gay, straight, male, woman, whatever. Funny is funny, and I respect that. But yeah, I think Maisel tackled the issue very well, and also great storytelling, great characters. Yeah,
I mean, I did find like the middle seasons got a little boring. But I just like did laundry and pushed through them. And then like, it was like 1 and 2 amazing, 3 and 4 boring. And then like 5 and 6 got better, in my opinion. It was just kind of like, I don't know.
I think a couple episodes maybe fell a little short, but I think all in all, the storytelling was just great. And even because like, the episode where she kind of outed the singer that she was opening for.
Yeah. It was like after that I was like bored. Like that happened. And then I'm like, or she's like in the low part of her career again and she has to like start over and she's kind of just like, okay, like,
but
I
think what that showed is what a lot of comedians go through where she didn't want to play the game. Her ego was like, no, fuck this.
I get that. Yeah.
But you kind of got to play the game.
Yeah.
I always say you got to play by their rules till you can rewrite them.
And then the cute comedian, that guy who told her to keep going.
Lenny Bruce.
Yeah.
See, you don't, that cute comedian.
I'm like the guy, not guy.
Lenny Bruce was even the precursor to George Carlin. Lenny Bruce, like everything that they showed in the show was
real. I wasn't sure if he was a real person.
He was a guy that pushed the boundaries. He was a guy that he really got arrested just for saying shit and fuck and stuff on stage. This is, if not for people like him and George Carlin and Red Fox and
they did mention George Carlin in the show too, I think.
Yeah, and Mort Saul and these really great innovative comics that made it possible for comics like me and Burr and everybody to say what they want to say. Even
though we're kind of going backwards now, but it's okay.
And there is, we are kind of the pendulum swinging the other way a little bit now, but still. No one's getting arrested for this shit. You might get canceled.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Stupidly, but you're not getting arrested because of free speech. But it's because of guys like Lenny Bruce that we were allowed to. So
cool.
Yeah, there's actually a great movie called Lenny that was directed by Bob Fosse, starring Dustin Hoffman. And if it's dark, but it really shows what he did and went through again for the idea of freedom of speech. So if you get a chance to watch that, it's a great movie.
I will. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. I think now we're officially done now that I got to ask my Maisel question.
That was a marvelous question.
Thank you.
Okay, well, everyone listening, go ahead and call Flip on the Owwll platforms. Take care, everybody.
It's an owlgasm.
Post-production for the Owwll podcast is done with care by Ocean Tree Creative.